Said Benrahma's the right player at the right club at the wrong time. Imagine, if you will, the unveiling press conference where Slaven Bilic announces that he's signed Said Benrahma. The assembled press are there, the cameras are clicking, the flashes are going, not flashers, the flashes on the cameras. That would be different. Not a nice press conference, that. But he'd be there with his arm round him, explaining to everybody why this was the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League. Bilic would love it. Benrahma would love it. He would puff his chest out. He'd feel $1 million. And I tell you what, you'd have some player on your hands. Also goes far as to say maybe, not maybe, actually definitely, Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp would have got an absolute tune out of Said Benrahma. Anyway, that's all lovely and wishful thinking. That's not the case. Said Benrahma's manager is David Moyes. He didn't want him, he barely uses him, and it hasn't worked out. In the Bilic style of play, in the Harry Redknapp style of play, he would fit perfectly. I mean, he really would fit seamlessly into the way that they would want to go. Into a counter-attacking team like Moyes has got, he slows the play up too much. I mean, he literally slows down the attack. What he does is he likes to almost bring his man to a standstill. Benrahma gets the ball, he faces up his man, he tries to get his opponent, the fullback, to stand still. Then he will generally try and cut inside, but it slows the game down. This is not what David Moyes wants. Yesterday I did a video about young Lingard. I know I shouldn't do the French accent. There you go. Anyway, I couldn't help myself. I said why he was probably perfect for our system, because he hits the ball early over the top for a winger that's looking to get in behind. That's not Benrahma. Okay? Now, contrast that, if you will, with the way that Jesse Lingard plays. I know I'm comparing at the moment a left-sided player, which is what Benrahma is under David Moyes, with somebody who's more or less going to play centrally for West Ham. Well, he did, and if he signs again. Now, I only make this comparison because actually I don't ever, you know this if you watch the channel regularly, I never considered Benrahma to be a left-sided player. I think he's an attacking midfielder. Bilic would have played him centrally, I'm pretty sure of it, and I'm pretty certain that I can imagine certainly Harry Redknapp playing him in the Jarl Berkovic role, if you want. But if you take the way Lingard plays the game, because Moyes' pursuit of Lingard is a little bit obsessive. I think, look, if he gets it, you'd have to say congratulations. Eventually you got your man. I mean, it'd be a real advert for perseverance and sticking to your target and getting there in the end. But if you just think about how Lingard plays, when Lingard receives the ball, a lot of the time he's side on. He's side on to play. So actually, he's already moving when he receives the ball. And the first thing he does is he'll move the ball forward. He'll very, very seldomly stop the ball dead. Well, actually, what he'll often do is he'll take the ball on sideways. He'll start to go at a jogging pace, make the defender go at a jogging pace. Then he'll knock it really quick, and then he'll go. He'll slow the game down ever so slightly and then speed it up again. But I would suggest he's perfect for the way that David Moyes plays, particularly the way he arrives late into the box as well, and the way he was sort of looking to get in behind. Not on the left wing, I understand that, but his style of play suits David Moyes. Benrahma's doesn't, never has done, never will. We all know that it was David Moyes' signing, and if anything has taught anyone at that club why you let the manager have the final choice on players, it's this, because it's a complete waste of money. I know Gio's theory on Vlasic. I'm not saying I disagree. I don't know. I don't know. I would hope not. I think the reason I'm reluctant to believe it is because I like to think, well, that's horrendous. Not again. Surely I wouldn't do it. Depends on what not newspaper you believe, how much Vlasic was. But let's say Vlasic is the same sort of money that Benrahma was. 24 million, something like that. Let's just call it that. You think, not the same. You don't do the same again. You haven't bought a player the manager doesn't want, and then bought another player in the same position that the manager doesn't want. I mean, that'd be weird. I can't imagine for a moment that would happen. But anyway, there we go. That's by the by. So the rumours are that David Moyes wants to sell Said Benrahma. There's no surprise there. There's no surprise there at all. For all the reasons I've already said, it just doesn't fit the system. I feel sorry for Benrahma. I really do. I feel very sorry for him because, for all the reasons I say, it was the right club at the wrong time. I don't think there's a good player in there, and he's scored some goals and got some assists this season, but if your face don't fit, it just doesn't fit. I don't think there's any reflection on his ability as a player. Sebastian Haller is a fantastic player. He's proven that he's a fantastic player. but his face didn't fit. Maybe his face didn't fit. Actually, that's a little bit. No, I'm not going to actually. I'll backtrack on that. It's not his face didn't fit. His style of play didn't fit. Sebastian Haller goes to Ajax, scores loads of goals. I mean, loads of goals in a technical team. Well, we know that the manager's just gone to Man United, right? Scores loads of goals in the Champions League. But for how David Moyes plays in a non-technical team, not saying we've got no technique. We do. It's just not good enough. Now at West Ham, we're crying out for creativity at the moment. We're crying out for attacking players who are going to fit the system that David Moyes does, and Said Benrahma just doesn't do that. I look at it and I take a look at Lingard, and it's Lingard. Actually, there are two players that it's always dodgy to do a video about. I can't believe I put them both in the same video. I've already said why I don't like doing videos about Said Benrahma, because he brings a cult following with him. You know, it's very difficult to say anything that's not 1,000% positive about 100% positive about Said Benrahma. As I've mentioned before, you know, Said Benrahma, someone once said you either love Benrahma or you hate him, and I said, well, no, it's something in the middle, which is actually you just treat him as a player, and when he plays well, you say he's played well, and you have an opinion on him. I don't think he's the best player in the world. I certainly don't hate him, but I do think he's at the wrong club. I really do. And when we need some additional attacking impetus, he's not the guy that's going to carry us forward next season. He would be a substitute at best. That being said, I wish we'd have had him to come off the bench against Brighton. I think it would really would have helped, because my words, I thought we missed him. And it's a bit of a shame. I think he would have played the last 3 games of the season, because obviously he was in good form up until the point where, well, he was about to get his hat-trick, wasn't he, really? And he got injured, so which was a massive shame. Missed the last 2 games. But I do think a single player can make a difference in a team game. And this is where I like to get back to Jesse Lingard, because I try not to discuss Jesse Lingard too much, because I've done so many videos. There will always be people that say, oh, just leave it alone, move on, I don't want to hear about Lingard again. Well, yeah, the trouble is there's always somebody that doesn't want to hear about somebody, and if we don't, Lingard is in the news, we're back in for him, we really are. So it would be a bit of a dereliction of duty, really, wouldn't it, if at West Ham Channel I ignored a player that we might be about to sign. I think he would have been... Moyes tried to get him in January. Too much, by the way. Moyes tried to get him too much. I think to such an extent that Moyes still thought come the end of the January transfer window that he was going to get him. And I think one of the reasons we didn't get anyone was because he was sure on deadline day Man United would cave in. Now, you know this. If you watch his channel regularly, everyone said it was not going to happen. There's no way Man United were going to sell to a rival. And West Ham were a rival. Of course we're a rival. They finished 6th. We finished 7th. And it went down to the last day. Well, not even the last game of the season. The last 45 minutes of the season it went down to. So, of course we were a rival. They were never going to sell to us. And I'll tell you what, it would have made the difference. And they were wise to. Because Jesse Lingard is good enough that had he joined West Ham in January, West Ham would have finished 6th, possibly higher. There was obviously... Arsenal and Tottenham did go on, some pretty damn good streaks during the season, so maybe not. But I'll tell you what, we would have definitely finished 6th with Jesse Lingard, and we may well have won the Europa League. That's how much one player can make a difference. Funny enough, if Benrahma goes, he'll possibly go back to Brentford because Eriksen won't sign on there. Eriksen made a massive difference. One player, massive difference to Brighton. I felt they were never going to get relegated, but I think they would have probably finished about, just above the struggling teams. They would have sealed safety with 3 games to go or something, rather than taking it as long as Everton did and whatnot. But Eriksen coming in gave them real impetus, and they probably found that they gained an additional 10 points this season that they wouldn't have had without Eriksen. Maybe I got the numbers slightly wrong, but you get my point. He gave them a massive uplift. I think Lingard would have done that for us. So actually bring him back, I would bring him back. I think he suits our style of play. And I think he suits David Moyes. David Moyes wants him, and that's something, isn't it? Because if we all agree that David Moyes didn't want at least Benrahma or Vlasic out of it, well, it's obviously more advantageous for him to have somebody that he does want. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think this solves the left wing crisis at all. And by the way, I don't think Jesse Lingard will ever match the form that he had in his first loan stint with us, particularly at the start of it. I really don't. He can't possibly match that. I said at the time, this will be the point at the end of his career when he's sat in whatever Sky Sports studio or he's doing Soccer Saturday or whatever the case may be, when he looks back and they say, what was the best run of form you ever had in your career, it will be that first loan spell at West Ham. But don't get me wrong, but just 'cause I don't think he don't match that doesn't mean I don't think he'll improve the team. I really do think he will. I think it's really important if we do bring him in that David Moyes does substitute him. I don't want another Thomas Souček situation on our hands where he never gets substituted, and this is why the composition of the squad is so important. But make no mistake about it, Jesse Lingard coming into West Ham is a very, very good player, and it's not just David Moyes that thinks so. Clearly, Gareth Southgate thinks so as well. I don't think. I don't think the whatever United manager, any of the last three United managers have thought so. But hey ho, horses for courses, and I think certainly for Jesse Lingard at West Ham, it would certainly be the right player at the right club at the right time and under the right manager.